This is a brain scan of a billionaire making a decision. If you look at the regions lighting up, you'll notice something strange.
The part that handles fear? Quiet. The part that handles greed? Quiet. The part that handles logic? Also quiet.
The most successful money managers on earth, the ones who move billions without blinking, don't make decisions based on ambition. They make them based on disgust.
They aren't chasing wealth. They are avoiding the taste of poison.
And that single, counterintuitive shift from seeking pleasure to avoiding disgust is the difference between the person.
We live in an age of financial adrenaline. Every notification is a dopamine hit. Every green candle feels like validation. The financial industry, the apps, the media, the influencers, they've engineered this. They've turned investing into a video game. They want you to feel.
But here's the uncomfortable truth. The wiring in your skull, the neural architecture that kept your ancestors alive in the savannah.
We are going to look under the hood. We're going to strip away the jargon, the DCA, the liquidity pools, the technical analysis.
Because once you understand why your brain panics at a 10% dip, and why the disgust-driven investor sees that same dip as a boring.
Let's start with the enemy. It's called dopamine.
Neuroscientists like Robert Sapolsky have shown that dopamine isn't actually the pleasure chemical. It's the anticipation chemical. It's the feeling of almost winning.
When you open a trading app and see a stock soaring, your brain releases dopamine. You feel smart. You feel like a genius. You hit buy.
Here's the cruel part. The moment you execute the trade, the dopamine stops. The high is over. So what does your brain demand?
This is the action addiction loop. It's the same mechanism that keeps a rat pressing a lever until it starves to death.
Studies from the University of California show that the more frequently an individual checks their portfolio, the lower their long-term returns.
Why? Because you're not investing. You're self-medicating.
Every time you check the price, you're feeding the dopamine monster. And the monster doesn't care about retirement. The monster wants the next trade.
This is the psychology of the crowd. It's frantic, it's loud, and it's designed to extract wealth from the impatient.
So, if the crowd is ruled by dopamine, who is ruling the other side?
Let's go back to that brain scan. The insula.
The insula is the brain's gustatory cortex. It's the part that tells you if the milk has gone sour. It's the ick factor. In 2012, researchers at Cambridge put professional traders, the guys managing sovereign wealth funds, into fMRI machines. When the amateurs took a risk, their nucleus accumbens lit up. That's the reward center. They were excited. When the professionals took a risk, to the high-skill money manager, a risky bet doesn't look like a potential yacht. It looks like a rotten egg, and their brain is wired to spit it out.
This changes the definition of skill.
Skill isn't knowing when to buy. Skill is the ability to feel visceral disgust at the possibility of a permanent loss of capital.
Warren Buffett calls it the iron rule. Never lose money. Most people hear that and think, yeah, sure, but I want to get rich.
Now, let's talk about the illusion of control. There's a cognitive bias called the hot hand fallacy.
If a basketball player makes 3 shots in a row, we think he's on fire. We bet on him to make the 4th. But statistically, the probability doesn't change.
In finance, this is lethal. You buy a stock, it goes up, you feel smart. You buy more, it goes up more, you feel invincible.
This is called the attribution error. You attribute the success to your own genius. But in reality, you were just floating on a rising tide.
The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. When we experience a winning streak, our testosterone levels spike.
Biologically, a bull market turns us all into arrogant, risk-blind primates. The person with high money management skills, they don't have a hot hand. They have a cold process.
They know that the market doesn't know they exist. The market doesn't care that they made a good trade yesterday. Their process, their rules,
They are robotic and boring. And that is the point.
We have to talk about the asymmetry of pain. This is the cornerstone of behavioral economics. Kahneman and Tversky won a Nobel Prize for this.
loss aversion. The psychological pain of losing $100 is about twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining $100. Now, think about what the average person does with this wiring. They look at a stock that's down 20%.
They lock in the loss.
Meanwhile, the high-skill manager is feeling the pain too. They aren't robots. but their prefrontal cortex, the CE.
They ask a question that the average brain finds almost offensive to consider. Is this feeling of fear actually telling me something about?
They realize that volatility isn't risk. Permanent loss is risk. And because they're wired to feel disgust at loss, they refuse to panic sell.
They let the discomfort sit. They sit in the red. And they wait. This is the hidden tax of the amateur, selling low because it felt bad. The pro gets paid to endure the bad feeling.
So if we zoom out, what do we see? We see a massive, widening gap. It's not just a gap in wealth, it's a gap in neurological endurance.
The financial system is accelerating. High-frequency trading algorithms execute in microseconds. Social media spreads fear instantly.
And the more the noise increases, the more the dopamine-driven crowd self-destructs. They trade more, earn less, and burn out. The person with high money management skills is playing a different game. They aren't trying to beat the market. They are trying to survive the market.
They have optimized their environment to reduce triggers. They don't check prices every day. They don't watch financial news. They realize the ultimate secret. Money management is not about math. It is about managing the animal inside your own skull.
So here is the unresolved question that keeps the best investors up at night.
If the entire modern world, the apps, the notifications, the 24-hour news cycle, is designed to hijack your dopamine,
How do you know if the financial decisions you made today were actually yours?
Or were they just a reflex, a neurological puppet show, staged by a system that profits from your anxiety?
You don't have to answer that today. But the next time you feel that rush to buy or that panic to sell,
See you next time.